Alright guys, what is up? So, I'm going just to assume that it's streaming and start, because of my last couple of videos, there'll be like a minute or two of silence and it's pretty awkward. So, just start off with what I am carrying today while people funnel in. So, what's in my pocket? What's up guys? That is looking good. I think that's it. I think that's all that's in my pocket right now. But yeah, so hopefully everyone is doing well. It feels like I just did one of these videos the other day. My life seems to pass in 2-week increments now. Before each day felt super long, and now they just fly by. So thanks for coming in, guys. Toxic Flipper wants to know right off the bat, dude. He's just jumping straight into the questions. No pause, nothing else. Would I ever get a ballast song? Yes, I would definitely get a ballast song. The question is, do I want a trainer? Do I want a custom? Dave's bringing in the clinical depression already. Thanks, Dave. And since he is a psychology background, that is probably a label I can take to the bank. So appreciate that, Dave. Jeff Morrow wants me to review the Bastinelli Piker. I don't know what it is. I haven't followed Bastinelli for a while, but I'll take a look. Apparently Nick just live streamed. That is good. That is good. Alright, so this was what was in my pocket today. We'll jump into it, and then I'll always try to answer questions. So, carried the Zero Tolerance 0010 Ti pen, now discontinued. I get more questions on this pen than anything on Instagram. Every time I post a picture, people are like, what's that pen? What's that pen? What's that pen? I really should get a third one of these. That would probably be a good thing to do, but I use this or one of my anodized version of this pen the most. This is the Bernhardt F71. If you guys are familiar with watches, you'll notice that the logo on this is the Watch You Seek logo. Just like some knife forums will have a forum knife, watch forums will have a forum watch. So F71, if it'll focus, right there. If you go to, like, I don't know if this is still the case, it's been a couple years, but if you go to, www.watchuseek.com/F71, that was the Affordables subforum on Watch You Seek. Whoa. And so that's where I used to spend a lot of time. When was this made? Was it really 2013? Maybe. This might have been made in 2013. Probably wasn't delivered till 2014. But, okay. Anyway, so there were only like 200 of these made. They've been sold out for a long time. So that's where this watch came from. The Guardian Tactical Helix Nano in my pocket. An American company. I feel like a lot of people still don't know about them. But I really like their knives. I like their knives for a number of years. And they may or may not have some new stuff coming for Blade Show this year. So they have an Instagram account, and then they have a website that I don't think they really update very often. So yeah, I'll be at Blade this year. I did buy my tickets, or my airplane ticket, already, so I wasn't sure if I was going to go. It's now official. Otherwise, I'm out like $500 for airfare. So I mean, it's pretty much official at this point. So Guardian Tactical Helix Nano in carbon fiber. And then the Das Alfini Mir stitchless wallet that, yeah, I just did a video on just the other day, and I just posted it. And I really like this wallet. So it is very, very cool. The strap holds everything together. And then you just open up the main flap here to get into stuff and things. So yeah, gorgeous wallet. Really well done. Comments are blowing up. Let me see what's coming in. Okay, Toxic Flippers tell me to check out OSP for trainer blades. BRS Alpha Beast Replicant as a trainer blade to get. Yeah, dude, it's on my list. Like, I want a nice trainer. I just, there's, flipper knives that come up, and I'm like, oh, look, I'm gonna buy that, and then I just never get around to the Balisong. So, how much time do you spend a day looking at knives on the web? Does Instagram count? Because it is probably hours. I'll look at the Blade HQ new arrival page every single day. Honestly. And obviously flipping through Instagram, you see stuff there before it even hits dealers typically. So how unusual that you would have multiple zero tolerance pens. Bob B, I've got 2 titanium and then 1 aluminum. And I think they've discontinued all the aluminum ones now. So honestly, like, I should probably buy at least 1 more titanium and then probably 2 more aluminum. That would be the smart thing to do, because I'll be really depressed if I ever, lose or damage or destroy my current pens and I can't replace them. That's super effing depressing. So, yeah. Okay, a lot of nice custom Balisongs. If I get a custom Balisong, it would probably be from Eldon Talley, a Tallis song, since he is local to me in Utah, and I've known him for a number of years. So, yeah, you get to get the stickers. I don't know what you mean, but yes, stickers. Okay, that is a cool looking blade. What kind of steel? The blade steel, as it is so clearly marked right here, is CPM 154. So yeah, this is like this model quite a bit. 3.25 inch blade here on the Helix Nano. Okay, brass color, brass post. I think the post is brass on this. I'm not sure. Either way, I mean, oh, it's so nice. Okay. Yeah, so Dave's talking about the reason that Guardian Tactical gets overlooked is they still give the appearance of a Microtech offshoot like Heretic Knives. So the person who, so 2 people left Microtech to start their own company, which is Guardian Tactical. One of the guys was their lead engineer, who's a legit engineering background. The other was one of their machinists, and the engineer, his name is Andy. His parents, their background was in automotive parts making, and so Andy got together with his parents, the other guy from Microtech. They started Guardian Tactical. They dropped hundreds of thousands of dollars. They built their own shop and they started producing knives. So quite admirable. Of course, the design language is still there with Microtech because Andy designed some of the Microtech knives and some of the functional components and some of the design components. So, obviously there's still carryover. But small family-owned business, I've met them. I see them every year at Blade. I think they're good people. They do need to work on email support a little bit, though. A lot of you guys come to me and say, hey, I can't get in contact with them for customer support. So hopefully they fix that and address that. What music do you like? Bruno asks. Just about everything. If anything from new age to screamo, to classical. I don't like country or bluegrass or any of that crap, but anything else I'm good with. Edward Meyer says CPM 154, yuck. Edward, get out of here, man. CPM 154 is analogous with S35Yen and RWL 34. It is a perfectly good steel. It is different than 154 CM. So as long as you know that. Okay. Oh, the comic stickers I got for you of Stabbity Bunny. Oh yeah, we talked about that, Dylan. I don't remember how or where now, but I remember talking about that. I think you messaged me. It's all a blur. Got a little bit of caffeine going in my little koozie here, just to keep me salient enough to do this live stream. So good. could have bought the same blade for super cheap. Should have picked it up because I never heard of them. Alex, give them a shot, dude. I really like their stuff. So, all right. So my buddy's about to fly to China. He wants me to entertain him. Get me something cool. I just want food. I would just go there to eat, man. Yeah, one of my other friends goes to China all the time, and all he posts is just food pornography. It's crazy. So, regarding custom ballast songs, Marfio and Tachyon 3 was literally the worst bath I've ever taken. Good luck. Yeah, Dave, I don't know that I would ever buy from that particular company, so I don't think I'll take that bath. But Mitchell nanocarbon fiber, the nano, I have a titanium version of this one, which is what he's referring to. Same exact model, full tie. It's unnecessarily heavy in full titanium, and I mean, I bought it at the show. I had it in hand. I knew that. I didn't freaking care. I just wanted it. I would recommend the lightweight carbon fiber version to other people because people tend to like lighter knives, not heavier knives. And so I would, if anyone's asking me, I'm always going to recommend the carbon fiber. But a gun to my head, I would probably keep the titanium myself. But, it's not a rational approach to that question. So, yeah. All right, so that is what was in my pocket. Let me move. I want to put it back in my pocket. Hold on. Okay, all that stuff is back in my pocket. So new stuff. So this one's a little bit odd. So I got something new, and it's not a knife, but I got a hobby vise. So you guys are going to laugh at me, but I picked up a small little vise off Amazon. I got really tired of trying to work on knives that you have to go with the pivot from both sides. By way of example, this one. So sometimes when you're dealing with a knife, you have to go with the pivot from both sides, and it's really hard to like hold it between your knees and have to like, get a Torx driver on each side. It's kind of a pain in the A. So I was like, you know what? I need a vise. Because when I lived with my best friend, he's an engineer. He used to frame, so he had a full set of tools, and he had a vise, he had a workbench, he had lighting. It was fantastic. And then he moved to Arizona. He took all of his fun toys with him, and I've just been kind of winging it since. So, this should make it a little bit nicer to do crap like this. So, again, for you guys who have, full shops and you've got a real vise on a workbench, I know this is a joke, but hey, we take what we can get. So this was like $50 on Amazon, and I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't like fall apart in a matter of days, but we'll see. So laugh all you want. This is my little hobby, my sad little vice. So yeah. All right. Dude, Vextos, do I regret selling my Shiro silk? Yes, I do. I do. It just got to a price point where I just couldn't justify carrying it or keeping it in my pocket. At $1,300, I was solid. I was happy. But, once I started getting offers more than double, I was like, I just can't afford to keep it. So I sold it. I hate myself. I'm going to go out and get a production Shiro. I was looking at the 95 with the green micarta inlays. Just because it's, like the most affordable, and I won't want to move it, in 6 months when I need to free up funds. So, I'm gonna pick up a new Shiro for sure. I'm just waiting for it to get back in stock. So yeah, I don't own any direware knives. No more Mr. Vice Guy. Did you send your Reate Future in for warranty? I did not. I was able to reassemble the knife. I only truly stripped one side, and so it went back together, but yeah. Can I suggest a knife for around $400? I could suggest many knives for $400. I need more info. You need a car lift for the beast. Okay, got my Gail Bradley. What is up, Chaz? Can I see the Nanix Hilo? Ew, can I see the Helix Nano in your hand? Yeah, let's do a size comparison. So here it is in my extra large hand. I can get a full grip on it. Like so. It's got a choil so you can choke up. if you need to. And yeah. And while we're on the subject, so these were some new arrivals. This is the only new stuff I've got in the last 2 weeks, so it's been a mild week for sure. This is the Reate Baby Machine. This is the Reate Starboy. And here's the Helix Nano for a size comparison. They're all 3.25-inch blades, so I guess a perfect size comparison, I guess. Yeah, maybe. So, oh, that sucks, Bob. I hate when you get shafted over the weekend. So, this one was debuted at the USN show last Labor Day. I don't know what month, August, September. Anyways, this was one of my favorite. This was like the debut that interested me the most from the USN show. So it's nice to finally get one in hand. I will say, so these are the two newest Reates that I've got, and these things are coming out of the box completely broken in, completely smooth. In the past, usually it takes around 4 or 5 days for the Reate knives to break in and really hit that optimal smoothness. But I don't know what they're doing differently, but these are coming out of the box just broken in, like just glass smooth. It's really impressive that they just, I don't know, they're doing something different. And it is marvelous. So it's really cool when you take it out of the box and your first impression is like just completely broken in. So that was a nice subtle change. I doubt most people would notice, but I've had, I don't know, well over 30 Reate knives over the last 7 years, or since they debuted in the US, from the very first model up to these are some of the newest. So they've got some other new models for Blade Show, of course. Both companies will have new stuff for Blade Show. Do you have a price of a knife that you won't actually use? McLean 5179S. Yeah. Once it gets over basically over 1,300, that's when I start getting a little gun shy about using it. And then if I don't carry it and it doesn't end up in my pocket, it typically doesn't stick around. So I have one knife right now that's probably worth over 1,300 easily, but it was a build for me, specified by me, by someone I consider a friend. So even though I don't carry it that much, and I don't carry it as often because of that, I still have no intention to get rid of that one though. So that one is a kind of a abstract or outlier from the rule there. Okay, passed on the Prism, Starboy, wait for the Baby Machine, most carryable of the three. It's going to be a tough comparison between this and the Baby Machine for the value. I mean, the Baby or the Prism is just so much less expensive, and the blade steel is the same. This one has obviously significantly more machine work and such, but that'll be a pretty tough comparison between them. So Reate always uses bearings. Yeah, Mitchell, I can't sell anything with my logo on it, so that's absolutely true. Okay, Typhoon. Powerful K9, I don't know if you're talking about the Sharp by Design Typhoon, but I don't have one of those. Oh, so Knife Nuts Dave, also known as Mythanthropia, is dropping some more details on special pricing that will be removed because he has revealed it, per usual. So Knife Outlet is selling the Baby Machine for $255 this month in their private sale. Ooh, private sales. Is there a VPON for it? Yeah, and I'm not even up on all these private sales and special stuff that goes on. It's I don't know, man. That stuff it's crazy. I can't keep up with everything I used to, but it's just not even possible anymore. So that is what we have going on here. Now, you guys dropped or asked a lot of questions on Instagram and on YouTube for this week. So I don't think, okay. So as always, do we violate Barney and see what knife he has hidden in his Warm and Fuzzies, or do we go into the questions from you guys? got here? What is the most over retail on knife you will pay for a blade you want? Edward, answer your question. I do not like to pay over retail for a knife. I don't like to pay over table price. I don't like to pay over retail. And so I typically won't. Luckily, when you have, you know, 70, 80 plus knives, you're able to kind of temper yourself to a degree. So, all right. Ooh, okay. So everyone wants me to violate Barney and see what lovely goodness is in the recesses of his warm and fuzzies. Barney, 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 Barney. Jennifer's lunchbox. Good call. Good call. All right. Let me move this stuff out of the way. Actually, maybe I should do a close-up real quick for you guys. Let's move some of this cordage. Nothing like a good Tashi design, right? This one's got the hand rubbed with the blue. Lovely as can be. And Blade HQ has these in stock currently. So, oof, so smooth. So smooth. I'm just making Bob suffer since he cannot get his hands on his baby machine yet. Ooh, Damasteel Starboy. Oh, that's luscious. Here, Bob. Let's live vicariously through me one more time here. Let's look at the action. Ooh, that's very smooth. Ooh, goodness. Look, one more time, Bob. Oof. Thumb flick. Oh, on the money, Bob. On the money. How does that make you feel? All right. Now that Bob has suffered sufficiently. Clip on the baby machine works fantastically. Look at that. Plenty of gap for jeans. Nice positive ramp. From the top, it looks like it'd be super weird, but once you get the side profile, it makes a lot more sense, you know? So, ooh, we can do Spidey flick. Choke up. Choke back. Choke up. Choke back. Yep. All right. So, okay. What do you think of the Koenig Argus Lance? If you like one, buy it. Go ahead and buy it. Don't hesitate. Barney and Baby Bop playing in their little, what is that? A tire swing. When's the last time you guys saw a tire swing? Okay, so we're not gonna look at the spec sheet yet. And here we have Barney. He's got something delightful for us in here. So, as always, I have not looked. You guys won't believe me, but I have not looked. So, I'll go to like Blade HQ, and I'll stand there at the counter, and then my contact will come up, and I'll have to turn around and look away as Maggie puts something in the Barney box, or Matt does it. So I just kind of stand there and face the wall for a little bit. Okay. What do we have? Okay. It's a flipper. Flat sides with a thumb stud. Ooh, this one's tough. The pocket clip feels... Is there a stainless steel lock insert? This sounds weird, but it feels Ferrum Forge. I think I'm going to be wrong on this one, guys. I don't think I'm going to be able to guess this one. No, it's not, because it... Hold on. Let's feel the pivot. They have that odd pivot. No, it doesn't... Okay, my guess, based on the feel of the pocket clip, is maybe Ferrum Forge, but I think I'm going to be wrong in this one. I don't think I'm going to be right. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to give up. So you check his spleen while you're there. All right, so we'll pull that out and see. My guess is Ferrum Forge. I don't think I'm right. Boker Burnley. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was not even close, guys. I was not even close. They threw a Boker in the box. Woo, getting budgety. I think this is the first time they probably put an affordable knife in the box. Interesting. Interesting. Action's not bad. In my experience, Boker has been so hit or miss. I know I had a Boker once upon a time. It's not budgety? How is it not budgety? Let's look at this. Okay, someone's telling me it's not budgety. Powerful K9. Oh, 140. Well, I mean, this is what, like half the price of anything else they put in there? That's 140. Look, K9, it is like 60 bucks less than you thought. So I guess that makes it an automatic buy, right? That means you have to buy it because it's so much cheaper than you thought. Anyways, just kidding. So here's the Blade HQ item number. You can always go to Blade HQ and find it. I think someone gave it 4-star rating. That's what it looks like. Someone rated it 4-star. Okay. So, VG10 steel. 3.25 inch blade. So just like the other ones, we got a lot of 3.25 inch blades on the table today. Machine design, deployment, over travel stop. So the Boker plus Keon. So yeah, I mean Burnley's hot, right? If Burnley, you know, and Burnley, you know, obviously the most popular design that put Burnley on the map was the Quaken that he did with Boker. The Boker Quaken has probably been a top seller for Boker for a number of years now. Okay, so Boker does their damnedest to fight against every Teutonic stereotype of feditiousness and precision. Dave, in your big words, man. I have 2 marbled carbon fiber Keons. They make these in marbled carbon fiber? Barney gave it 4 stars. My Trapper, who just came from Shabazz. Is ZT worth the cost of World Heavy User or Kershaw? Yeah, I have no reason to doubt ZT. If you're going to get a knife made in China, get a Wee knife. They make amazing knives at great cost. I can't disagree with that. So, yeah, Boker's been obviously super hit or miss for a long time. I think they did a great job on the Quakens, the Burnley Quakens, which people have loved and adored and modified, and there have been limited runs with like Blade HQ on those. I want to say I had another Boker. I want to say maybe the F3 or something a couple of years ago. I know I did a video on it that I thought was decently well done. That was the last Boker I've had in a long time. It might have been a Voxnay design. I can't remember which one it was now, but I had a Boker a number of years ago, and I thought it was fairly well done. So this one, Keon. Now, obviously, this is the first time I've had this one in hand. There's definitely some 90-degree angles on this thing. But none of them enough to make or break it for me. So, you know, it's what they did with this knife is they basically took all the things that work well on other knives, and you know, they obviously put them all in here. You know, as to how well they executed them, potentially debatable. You know, they did jimping on the lock bar relief here, which I'm sure it helps a little bit over just a plain one. No doubt this is running on bearings. Yeah, it's got to be running on bearings. Let me look. Yeah, it looks like it is. They did a good job on the flipper tab. It's, you know, it's kind of almost a 45 with some nice texturing, so I think that's fairly well done. The action is agreeable, and this is not broken in yet. So, action is agreeable. The thumb studs work well. Oops, hit the camera. So the thumb studs work well enough on this one as well. pocket clip, you know, no complaints on a standard, you know, bent spring clip. I'd rather have a functional spring clip than a poorly designed 3D milled clip. You know, a standard over travel stop here. So pillar construction, numbered. I don't know that that's quite necessary, but VG10. So I mean, it's a simple, kind of straightforward design. It does some things well. There's a lot of competition in the 1 to 150 range for, you know, from, you know, essentially, you know, Chinese-made knives, flippers, bearings, D2. You know, there's a lot of competition. But the interesting thing when you think about it is, a knife like this might be someone's, you know, first kind of over $100 knife essentially. And so, you know, hopefully they're well done, because when people break that $100 barrier, if they're not wowed or impressed based on the other knives they've had in the sub 100, it might make or break it for them as far as kind of continuing on in the hobby, you know. So it's kind of a that part of the kiddie pool is fairly essential to, I don't know, developing, you know, knife enthusiasts potentially when you step in that just right over $100 range. So do I think someone coming from the sub 100 would probably be impressed with this knife overall. But when you're coming from the, you know, 1300 down, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm impressed, but I don't dislike it either. So I don't know if that makes sense. Centering is good. So I mean, so far from a fit and finish standpoint, there's really nothing to complain about per se. So let me look at the comments. I've been rambling here for a minute. Okay. Yeah. So Jason Tharns was saying that the Stout Lateralis by Boker has been very, very well received. You can get a G10 version for like $70, or a full titanium version, or stainless steel, whatever it is, for you know, not too much more. But that one has gotten a lot of love. So yeah, Rest and Dust is just saying the German-made Bokers are usually pretty good. I don't know that we really see a lot of the German-made Bokers in the States. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. But most of what we see is the, you know, the stuff made in China. This one does have titanium handles, weighs in at 3.92. I'm going to assume this one was probably made in China rather than Germany, but you know, again, I don't have any complaints per se on it. I think it's decent enough. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's see what are the comments saying. Why VG10? Is that the only blade steel choice for this model? You know, maybe. You know, VG10 is readily available for a lot of the Chinese manufacturers. Once upon a time, VG10 was the super steel, and it was exclusive to Japan. They would not export it out of the country. And I think some of the white and blue steel, they're still that way with. Like, they will not send it out. They will not let anyone else work with it. It's like proprietary to Japan. It has to be fully made in Japan to use that steel. I think VG10 was that way once upon a time. It's obviously not the case anymore. I don't know if it's still that way with some of their super white or super blue type steels. Maybe. That'd be an interesting fact-finding mission. So okay. Perpetua, or you don't want none of this. I wouldn't say that I'm disappointed. I would recommend this knife to someone if they said, "Hey, I'm looking at buying this Boker, this Burnley Keon. I really like the design. Do you think I should get it?" I'd say, yeah. If you like the design, go for it. At least this sample size of one, there's no fit and finish issues to speak of. You know, it's well centered. The lockup is solid, which is good. It's quite smooth. It's got an over travel stop, which I think is kind of a necessity for some people. New knife enthusiasts. I don't know if they over tweak their lock bar, maybe. I can't get anywhere near an exposed tip. I can't get anywhere near the back of the blade. So, if someone liked this design and they said, "Hey, I'm thinking about picking one up," I would not dissuade them in the slightest. I think it's well enough done. Now, as far as the VG10 argument, the question is, how much maintenance do you want to perform on your knife? If someone's like, well, I really want to start sharpening, VG10 is a good steel to learn on. It's fairly easy to sharpen. It's not going to take hours on end like a much higher end steel. But the kind of an interesting thought is, if you have someone who's buying their first high-end knife, or perhaps they only plan to buy one knife and they want to use it, by and large they'll pick the cheapest option, which is the wrong choice. If you have someone who's going to buy just one knife and they're going to use it for years and years and years, ideally they get a super steel like M390, maybe the Van X37s, or some sort of comparable where they don't actually have to sharpen the knife, and it's going to stay sharp enough for a long enough period of time that it's not going to hinder performance. But the guys that really go out and wail on their knives, they buy $40 knives, and they have to reassemble it every time they use it. One of my coworkers, he is an avid hunter, and I handed him a Reate knife, a fairly expensive one. It was like $425. I think it was the K4. And I handed it to him, and he flipped it, and his comment was, "Oh, this one's still nice and tight. It must be brand new." And I stopped to think about his comment for a little bit, and basically what he is saying is that as knives get old, or you've had them for a while, they start to become loose, and all the parts, essentially, they start to fall apart, right? And that was his perception of how knives function. Is if they're new, they're nice and tight. The older they get, the more rickety they become, and they start to fall apart, perhaps like a car or something. And when you're buying a quality knife, that's definitely not the case. You buy a piece that's well enough made with good enough materials, and whether it's 1 year old or 20 years old, you pick it up, you shouldn't notice a difference in how it feels. Like, it shouldn't feel like it's falling apart. So, again, anyways, just a kind of an interesting food for thought, a ramble there. Better look at the comments again. Let's see. I think by and large, D2 can be a better option. Another factor to consider is, of course, rust resistance. And D2 is not terribly forgiving in humid environments, or if you've got a blue-collar guy and he just sweats through his clothes all damn day, then D2 is probably a bad option for him. When you're looking to build, let's say a run of, I don't know what their numbers look like, but, 5,000 knives, and they could go anywhere in the world, all these different types of environments. When you're building a knife for the lowest common denominator, for the guy who doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't know knife maintenance, something that does not hold as good of an edge, but is less likely to chip and less likely to rust, is a better option for the least common denominator. So while we as enthusiasts know how to take care of our knives, we know sometimes how to sharpen, definitely how to clean, how to prevent rust, we're okay taking other blade steels, other materials, maybe tool steels like S110, 10V, some of these really crazy things. But, again, if you're building a huge number like 5,000 knives, you just have to anticipate that the least number will come back for warranty issues if you use a steel like VG10 rather than D2. So I'm sure that's one consideration, along with cost, machining cost, and what's the other? Yeah, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. But those are the things to think about. Oh, availability is a huge one for manufacturing. What's available at the time and in what quantities, and can my factory work with that steel? Because, when they're made in China, it's not Boker's facility. It's, we're going to a third party. Hey, this is a knife we want to build. We want to use this steel. What's the price? What's the cost? The danger is if you bring them, hey, I want you guys to use S90V, that the factory F's it up. The heat treat's wrong. They warp the blades during production, and then basically you don't have the knives on time. It's a huge logistic nightmare. So things to think about. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay. No way is this knife a buy anywhere near 140. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. It is on bearings, as far as I can tell. It is titanium, so I mean, it's certainly one consideration. If you're a Burnley fan, then sure. But again, knife buying is such a personal question that I'm not going to tell anyone you have to buy or you should buy this knife, because I don't know what you like, and it's honestly naive of me to assume that everyone's going to like the same things I do. So I don't make that assumption. Dave is saying he can't imagine how many different OEM manufacturers Boker uses, since the fit and finish varies so dramatically across models. Yeah, when you have these companies that don't have their own factories, they may have to switch factories depending on who can do what they need to, at what price, what's the timeline look like. And one of the other things that's interesting is some of the factories over in China, if they get a large order, they will outsource some of the work to other nearby factories, paying them even less than Boker's paying the initial factory. So, even if you went with one factory initially, by the time the product's done, there may have been 2 or 3 factories involved in the process. So, again, it's something that you may not be able to control, depending on who you take the work to. And that could happen stateside too. You may take it to one knife production company and they may outsource some of the work to someone else. Will they tell you? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if you don't specify in the contract, then it could potentially be at their discretion. So, yeah. Okay. Are you into pens, Hinder pens? I have one Hinder pen. I had some store credit that I needed to use, so I picked up a little Investigator pen. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, D2 rusts like a mofo. Okay. In a world where you can get an S110 paramilitary tube for 150, Boker needs to bring it. Yeah, again, it goes back to that discussion. I would not put S110V in the hands of someone who does not know what that steel is or what it's used for. They're going to start, prying screws and nails out of plywood and just chip that thing like nobody's business. So, again, that least common denominator consideration. So, all right, heat treat affects the rust resistant D2 set of surface finish. Yeah, the worst combination is bead blasted D2. That should be illegal. So, what's in your pocket today? Tim was saying that a D2 in Florida is no fun. Absolutely, man. Probably just rust like nobody's business. 0393, nice, good job. Yeah, so Dustin's saying S110 is a pain in the butt to sharpen. No doubt, I have not tried. Shotgun Bowman, I'd like to see Blade HQ or someone else take a tour of a Chinese facility to see behind the scenes. Would be cool to learn. Yeah, we had Liang Ma on our podcast when I still had a podcast, and he said, driving through some of these different places, it looks like houses. You go into a house and it's just full of CNC machines. So I don't know if it would be kind of what you're expecting or if it would vary greatly from, factory to factory. So, yeah, I agreed, Shotgun Bone. I'd take Stonewash over Bead Blast any day. How do you like the Baby Machine? Aaron asks. It's really nice. I like it quite a bit. It was my favorite from the USN show where it was debuted. So, couple size comparisons there. All right. So I should probably go to some of the questions from Instagram since they were fairly extensive. Aaron, I do not have experience with lower end Boker. I have typically shied away from Boker. So, by and large, again, there's nothing wrong with the fit and finish on this one. So I mean that's a good sign. I'd love to see these companies that maybe don't have the best reputations improve the quality and do better and just have more options for everyone. I mean, I hate to hear when someone's super excited about a knife and then they get it and there are nothing but problems with it. I mean, I don't want that for anyone. So, Yeah. Bob, I put the machine out just for you here, yet again, so that you can wait for UPS to bring you your knives, or your knife. Okay. Let's go to questions. All right, so I posted this on Instagram. I've got like 15 different questions. Some of these are deep. Tips and tricks for awesome hair. We need those bad. First tip is for Zach. If you don't put a beanie on, then your hair might look awesome. Maybe. That's tip number one. All right, so Tim. Actually, let's just go in order newest first. That way I can make sure to see them. So cover South African makers, JV Van Deventer or Clyde Challoner or any of them. I've had at least 5 different knives from Clyde. I've had nothing but good experiences in terms of quality, fit, and finish. I have 2 of his knives currently, so I've done videos on Clyde, on Jason Guthrie, and I think those are the only 2 South African makers that I've covered. There's certainly others, though. I hear good things about JD Van Deventer. So here's a question from Mark. It says, topic proposal, how can custom knife makers get away with sloppy fit and finish for which mass producers get crucified for? So there's 2 reasons that occurs. One is that, well, there's 3. One, people have accepted that handmade items cannot be as perfect as a machine, and so if it is small fit and finish issues, then they will simply overlook it. Reason 2, people, when they get a crappy custom knife, they will not talk about how bad the fit and finish is because they do not want to get stuck with a knife. You know, I mean, if let's say you buy a knife, you buy it for table or you pay over table. Let's say you pay $2,000 for a $1,000 knife. It's got all sorts of fit and finish issues. The last thing that some people will do is come out and say, yo, this is a piece of crap. Does anyone want to buy it for $2,000? People don't do that. They'll just put up a post and say, oh, hey, it's not for me. You know, I'm going to go ahead and let it go for $1,900. And so they get out only losing $100. Goes to the next guy says, hey, it's cool, but it's not for me. I'm going to sell it for $1,800. And after it's passed 5 or 6 hands, it's back down to table price. It might end up back with the maker eventually. So that's reason number 2. Reason number 3 that custom knife makers get away with sloppy fit and finish. Sometimes, buying custom knives is an ego equation. Who's got the hottest stuff? It's people take a lot of pride in owning some of these things, and so they're willing to overlook fit and finish issues or not talk about it because every time they post a picture, they're getting virtual high fives from other people, and so they simply deal with it because they are simply owning it makes them feel good. So those are the 3 reasons that I can think of off the top of my head. Hopefully that helps answer those questions. So infrared, maybe Blade HQ can save you some time and put a Tashi baby machine in the Barney Puppet's hand. I think we can arrange that since I have one here. Okay. Knives you regret buying or selling. I know I've taken a bath on some knives. I don't remember which ones anymore, but I've regretted buying knives that I take a huge bath on. Knives that I regret selling, I had a Shane Atwood Rhino that's currently with another dealer for sale now. It left my hands, went to someone else, went to the dealer. It was a phenomenal knife, had amazing materials, an amazing design. It was just so fancy and so nice that I never carried it. And so then I sold it and I missed that piece, and now I cannot afford it at the dealer's price. So yeah, that's kind of funny. All right. Knives and knives. Things on knives that piss you off, pet peeves. Where we at? Piss you off, pet peeves. Things on knives that piss me off. One thing is putting jimping behind flipper tabs, and this knife is not guilty of it, but if you put jimping behind the flipper tab and then you just run your finger along jimping, that is a pet peeve. Non-functional pocket clips is a pet peeve because knives spend 12 hours a day clipped in my pocket. And so if there's a non-functional clip and I can't carry it in my pocket, what's the damn point? Now, pet peeves. Yeah, pet peeves. Here's another pet peeve, and this is not on knives specifically, but on knife makers or even knife enthusiasts. One of my pet peeves on social media is when people post pictures of money. You know, they'll have, $100 bills in their hand, and they'll take a picture of $100 bills. What the hell for? I mean, it's so completely pointless and kind of trashy. I mean, I could go to my checking and savings account. I could pull out a couple $1,000s. I could take a picture, but guess where that money's going? It's going right back into the accounts they came out of, and so it's completely pointless. It's just so trashy because it means nothing. It really means nothing, and I can't stand it. The other thing that pisses me off on social media is when people make posts, knife makers or people in general, that say F my haters. There is nothing more trashy than F my haters posts. And if people dislike you, why would you acknowledge them and give them credit for disliking you? All it does is serve to empower them more, that they somehow fit into a class of people who dislike you, and then that encourages them to band together. Just so trashy. I've unfollowed makers for F my haters posts because I'm not 16 wearing puka shells and a sideways hat. So, I can't stand that. That's a huge pet peeve. All right. So now that we've got off that tangent, all right, let's see what else do we have going on. Do's and don'ts for blade show. Do wear comfortable shoes. Do carry water. Do have a protein bar in your bag. Do get a backpack with 2 straps. Don't use a single strap backpack. Do focus on talking to companies or custom makers. Don't think you're going to win a lottery. Don't spend more money than you should. What else? Don't get overly drunk in the pit. Maybe that's another one, because then the next morning is going to be pretty rough. So, yeah, those are hopefully some do's and don'ts. Who would I like to see ZT collaborate with? Eugene Kwan asks. I definitely want someday, and I've cornered the makers about it, a zero tolerance deadlock with Grant and Gavin Hawk. I definitely want that. I would love to see a zero tolerance Terzola collaboration, because I don't know how long Bob's going to be around. Martian Sleesh. I would love to see him do something with ZT, because I think his designs are super clean. So those are the ones that come to mind right now. Okay. Would you like to see more partnerships from custom makers and manufacturers, or do you think it detracts from the custom market? Good question. If done correctly, I would like to see more collaborations from custom knife makers and manufacturers. If done correctly. One of the problems that I've seen some I've seen some custom knife makers do is that they will price their quote-unquote mid-techs too close to their custom knives, and so those knives become pointless, and then they undervalue their custom knives. Or it will be an exact copy of their custom knives. So if you're going to do kind of the mid-tech thing, again, we're using air quotes all throughout this whole mid-tech conversation. Visually, it needs to be different than your custom knives, and that could come down to just the material choices. There needs to be some differentiation so you do not undercut your own custom knives. And 2, it needs to be priced affordably. If you're going to do a mid-tech, it should not be a cash grab. That's a stupid thing to do. You should make money, yes, but you should not be looking to rake in the money on a mid-tech. The point is to expose people to your designs, have them fall in love with your designs, become a fan of your work, which increases the demand for your custom knives. So that's how it needs to be done correctly. The price is to get people into entry-level knives. The quality should be there. It should be visually different from their custom knives. Now, the interesting thing is, as we see the rise of collaborations between custom makers and companies like Reate or We Knives, they're basically cutting out the large-scale manufacturers. They don't need them anymore to produce production knives. And so the value that some of these large-scale manufacturers like Boker here are going to potentially only have is, perhaps a paycheck, less work for the custom maker, so they don't have to deal with all this or the warranty. And then the other benefit that these will only have someday is marketing. Lucas Burnley, again, looking at this particular knife, Boker still sells knives around the world. People are going to pick up this knife. They might pick it up at a sporting goods store here or abroad in the world. They may see the name Burnley, not think about it, but in a year or two, they'll be like, I love this knife. Who the hell is this Burnley guy? And they may use their Google foo and come across his custom knives, and before you know it, they're a full-fledged custom knife collector. They go and they spend money at his auctions, or they go to blade shows. So, that is going to be the one of the remaining benefits that some of these large manufacturers offer over companies like Reate is essentially marketing. But as social media continues to evolve, perhaps someday, someone like Lucas Burnley will have as many followers or as much brand recognition as Boker does. In terms of a discussion standpoint, I don't know that that's really going to happen, but it's an interesting thought to think about. One company that potentially does is like Bag Knives. They had a show on the Discovery Channel. They have 175,000 Instagram followers. They've got more than some large production companies. So again, food for thought. Let that kind of drown you for a little bit. All right, better look at the comments. I've been on some tangents. So please forgive me, as most of you have already left. Puka shells. yeah. All right. So Chaz wants a John Graham and ZT, please. John Graham, he's an interesting knife designer. I can't say I've ever really fallen in love with any of his knives, but I can certainly see the appeal. Ooh, Stan Wilson and Chris Reeve knives to make a knife together. I don't think anyone would be mad about that, that's for sure. Yeah, Chris Reeve, they might have a new design this year. Maybe Easter egg. We'll see. Okay. Hinder and Tex Knives. I don't know who Tex Knives is. I probably should, but I don't. So Dylan, Brad Southard said he'll never give up a design his does custom to a company for that exact reason. He doesn't want to take away from his own knives. Yeah, I think so. Brad Southard is one of those guys who is obviously an incredible knife maker, but I think he's also fairly astute as in terms of business and marketing. I think he does a good job. Some custom makers do a terrible job in terms of running a business and marketing. Some do a great job, and the ones that do a great job are the ones that will stick around long term. Assuming that the knives are halfway decent as well, and obviously Brad Southard's knives are halfway decent. Grimsmo ZT, maybe. One of the things that also irritates me is when people are like, who should do a collaboration? ZT and Sherogorov, or Benchmade and ZT, and it's like, they're different production companies. They are competitors. Why the hell would they do a collaboration? Knife companies have stopped doing collaborations. Knife companies do not collaborate anymore because it does not make sense from a marketing and business development standpoint. So I want to strangle people when they say that like ZT and Benchmade should collaborate, or ZT and Medford should collaborate, when it makes no sense considering that they are competitors for the same dollars. So Not that that applies to Grimsmo. I think Grimsmo is in a different category. They're custom knife makers to an extent. So that could hold some appeal. I don't, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened at some point with a production company, although, could any production company really come up to the standards of what Grimsmo would expect? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Grimsmo would reject the production companies. So, have you ever had a knife lost or stolen in the mail? Just once. I shipped overseas to England or Scotland or something, and once you get out of the U.S., you can't track it anymore. He said the knife never showed. He filed a PayPal claim. Maybe he was on the up and up and it just disappeared or got lost in transit. I don't know. I had no way to tell, but I had to reimburse him the money because, essentially, one, it would have been taken from me anyway, and, my reputation is more important than $300. So, it is what it is. Okay, let's see. Dave Vicious. I want to see that legendary ZTX Cutthroat knives. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Ferrum Forge and Mastrop Cub. You seen it? I have not. They've been doing a lot of knives. So, are you going to try to pick up a Koenig Shark Nivco collab? Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see if I come home with one from Blade. Perhaps. I think he's going to have them at Blade. I'll text Bill after this and I'll ask him. So, yeah. By the way, I got a special Das Alfini mirror getting made for me. Thanks for the nudge this way. Great dude to work with. Absolutely, Tim. I think that Michael over at Das Alfini mirror is a fantastic dude. He makes great wallets. When is ZT coming out with a new limited edition like this 777, 999? We're still waiting on the 0427. That's not a triple number knife, but it's still a limited edition that we are waiting on. No ETA. So, ooh, Green Man, ZT and Emerson did, and ZT and Hinderer did. You got me there. You got me there. That's an interesting question, because I would consider Hinderer and Emerson as production companies, but other people would not. And the other odd thing is it has not hurt the business of either Hinderer or ZT, or Hinderer or Emerson, even though ZT does both designs better. So, I reserve the right to be wrong at all times. Okay. Lion Steel Nadeau collab, just so Dave breaks his word. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that people should start randomly sending Dave Lion Steel knives and make him keep them. So, ooh, I'd like to see a Reate Steelcraft type non-flipper flipper to upstage the ZT0055. Oh, that would be quite the undertaking, Lance, because here's the thing. You could do the non-flipper flipper without the hidden hardware like Stan does. He had to develop the tools and all that stuff for it. So they could do a standard screw construction on flipper. I would put money down instantly on that. There would be no hesitation on that type of collaboration. I would just take my money. Take my money. What are you bringing to carry at Blade Show? Bob asks. Dude, I'm coming naked. I'm flying in with just carry-on, and then if I'm leaving with knives, then I will check that bag. So I like to be quick when I travel. I hate waiting for bags when I land. So I'm coming in naked. Hopefully I get a knife the first day, the last Blade Show. I didn't end up actually buying anything till the second day. So the entire first day I walked around without a knife, and it pissed me off. It sucked. So at a Blade Show with no knife in your pocket. What a loser, right? That was me the first day. Yeah, so 95547 slew, different price target market. Yeah, I think that's a valid consideration is, what's their demographic? Who are they targeting? What's their price point? Yeah. So Mike asks, what do you think about Cody Usler looking at getting a Persian flipper? I honestly, that Persian design is one of my favorite Persian designs. I have been tempted by that same knife numerous times. I heard about his issues with Nick Shabazz. I've seen other people who've had no issues, so I don't know what to think. I would have to do more research and talk to him before ordering. But I'm going to be 100% honest, dude. That Persian he makes is so delicious. Oh, I want it. Okay. I would just mail the knives to myself instead of checking a bag. Dude, I don't... yeah, I only mail knives if I have to. I don't trust the postal system. I don't trust eBay. You know, I don't trust a lot of things, so I don't ship knives out unless I absolutely have to. So, Bob, after you get off the plane, go to Walmart and get a Schrade. Where's your self-respect, Bob? Would you rather be naked or have a Schrade? I would be naked. All right, more questions on Instagram. Dude, a lot of rambly stuff today, so I apologize if we're getting too much. Top 5 knives, 0 to... so don't stop now productions. That is a long question. I would definitely have to put some thought into, so I think I will address that at some point. Yeah, there'll be some new stuff from all these companies. So EDCI, they make some blade steel coating stuff, and the owner of EDCI is actually in Park City. That's about 45 minutes away from me, and so they're bringing EDCI back, which is really cool because it was retired for a while. So 2 people brought up EDCI. I don't remember his name. I follow his personal account on Instagram. I think he works at a gun shop up in Park City, Utah. Good dude. He came down to one of our get-togethers and he gave everyone, free little bottles of EDCI. I mean, he's a really cool guy. So, I hope it comes back. I hope it comes back with a vengeance. I hope he does really well, and I hope that it's profitable enough this time for him to stay into business. A couple of people tried to get together to buy the formula and such from him, but apparently he wanted more than they were willing to pay. So. Definitely a good thing. Quality products, good people. I'm all about supporting that. So those are the questions from Instagram, and hopefully I answered them in worthwhile order. A little more caffeine. Give me one sec. So damn good. All right, what do we got? Chaz from the Berg. Schrade is my jam. Dude, if you love Schrade, you rock on with your bad self. I don't know if you guys are listening to Mark of the Maker or not. And I think I talked about this last week. Where's my podcast app? My podcast. Oh, let's just go back to this. Mark of the Maker. No, don't play. So Mark of the Maker, you have Michael Birch, Tom Crine, Sean Kendrick, and then a knife collector, Mark Steiner. But Sean Kendrick, Tom Crine, and Michael Birch, hopefully those names are familiar to you because they are big names in terms of custom makers. Michael Birch's stuff, if you want to talk about top dollar at the shows, his stuff comes in top dollar. Tom Crine, a lot of fixed blades. Sean Kendrick, also top dollar. But in a number of these recent episodes, these guys are all sitting around reminiscing about United Cutlery knives. And I don't know if you guys know, but United Cutlery makes some shitty knives. But, the thing that I found really charming is the fact that these guys are all reminiscing their childhoods and looking at like United Cutlery catalogs and how that shaped who they are today, the fact that they became knife collectors and then knife makers. So, it's kind of giving me a new lease on life. So if you like Schrade knives, dude, rock on. Buy whatever the hell tickles your fancy, and as long as it doesn't fall apart and cut you and it's not a safety hazard, then, enjoy it. I mean, you could go out and buy 100 Schrades for, the price of these 3 knives on the table probably. So maybe not that much, but you guys get the point. So anyways, it's just been enjoyable listening to, these top tier custom makers reminisce about these crappy United Cutlery knives. And the fact that they still own and will still go out and buy them years and years and years later when their knives go for, I don't know, like 6-12 grand, you know, at auction and stuff. So it's just interesting. You know, we all start somewhere different. And you should buy whatever it is the hell that you like, because this is a hobby. You know, it's not a dick measuring contest, and, you know, people need to remember that from time to time. So, all right. Shotgun Bone, have you tried all the new Bang energy drinks? Dude, I've tried every damn flavor from Bang. There is no question. My favorite is root beer, although that is like the least popular flavor. But yeah. Okay. I listened to the new Knife movie episode. Oh yeah, the Knife movie episode was good. Powerful King, I like that. Timothy Allen, Jim Skelton and Begg, I believe, own EDCI. I know they tried to buy it. The owner wanted more money than they wanted to pay. So perhaps that has worked out and they have ended up buying it after all, and I didn't hear. I thought the original owner simply brought it back, but I could be wrong. I will message him. I will ask him. But yeah, you know, either way, it's good stuff. So, oh, good question. Future Rust and Dust. Is paying with a credit card a common option at Blade, or do you need to walk around with loads of cash? Yeah, really good question. I should have brought that up. Guys, cash is king at the Blade show and the USN show. Even some dealers will only take cash. So if you do not have cash at the Blade show, honestly, you could be SOL if your name gets called for a lottery. So, and the hard thing is, I mean, some of these lottery pieces are like $1,200-$1,400, and so, you know, you'll avoid. And damn, this is going to take a while. So here's the problem. Let's put more knives on the table because you guys need more visual distractions. I need more visual distractions. Oh, another one. Oh, so good, so good. If you guys don't know who Derek Monroe is, you're probably going to hell when you die. So, yeah, this little one, why not? This is now my wife's favorite knife. She has threatened to steal it multiple times. Okay, so here's the problem, and here's how things work at knife shows. So everyone comes with cash because you have to have cash, especially if you're going after, you know, like top tier custom maker stuff, you know, such as this. And so the lottos don't occur until like, there might be some lottos on Friday, but definitely on Saturday, and then maybe a couple on Sunday. So people walk around with cash and they're scared to spend it because if their name gets called for a lotto and they don't have enough cash for a piece like this, they will probably kill themselves, you know? So people walk around with a ton of cash. They don't buy anything. They see stuff that they want, but they get scared to buy it. They wait until the lottos are done, and then people go on rampant buying sprees and just pick up anything that they want or hope that they want or see that they want, just because they don't want to go home empty-handed after not getting the lotto piece that they were really hoping for. So, yeah, cash is king. The more you can bring to the show, the better. Hopefully you have the self-discipline not to spend it just because it's in your pocket. But yeah, you have to come cash heavy to any of these shows if you're hoping to go for lotto pieces. Now, you know, if you're just coming to hang out and have a good time, honestly, that's probably the better way to approach it. Don't, you know, just come with enough cash for maybe something you're interested in or whatever your limit is. And, you know, you can enter the lottos for friends, or, you know, if you're not there with friends, then, you know, just don't bother entering the lottos. Leave that for people who, you know, have cash on hand and are ready. And that'll save the makers from having to call out like 10 different names. And then before they finally get to someone who's standing there and ready and has the cash and all that stuff. So yeah, cash is king. Even with the dealers, the more you can bring, the better. I had to borrow money from a friend last year because I got called for a lotto and I did not have enough cash on hand. And quite honestly, I was embarrassed. Really appreciated my friend, the fact that he had a lot of cash on hand. But yeah, you know, it was a super awkward moment when I realized that the dealer would not take PayPal. And I was like, oh shiz, you know, because it's like, oh, hey, give me 20 minutes to run to an ATM. And the ATM at the show can run out, right? that can happen. So yeah, food for thought. Really good question. Okay. So Wugga Wugga 82 is listening to the Skagel episode in my other Wugga Wugga. If you are listening to me and a podcast at the same time, you are telling me that I am boring, and we are not friends anymore. Okay. Any word on a new Schleich Bowie or Spyderco Chef 2? Honestly, Green Man, I have not heard a thing. I've not really been keeping up on the Spyderco stuff, to be honest. I think there are people who are far more informed on those than I am. What do you think of the new Wee Knife not using the star-shaped screws on the new knives they're coming out with? I think that's great. I had no problems with the star-shaped screws because they provided a tool. The problem is that it's really hard to get leverage on that little tiny tool they provided. So going to standardized hardware, I think, makes everyone happy. It's just better for kind of a servicing standpoint. So, yeah. Okay. Duro Sig, I am happy for you. I will not be on that kick with you. Okay, that knife is more knives. Burn better. Okay. You are borrowing them in rows, send them back. Bob, you can take it. Bob, I want you to just stare at this for a minute here. I'm not sending those back yet. You stare at this. You're being punished. Okay. You can't go to hell if you accept our Lord and Savior Revis Christ into your heart. Dave, we're going to have a chat, buddy. I'm going to break your heart. We're going to have a chat. It's got to be on the down low. We'll message each other. Okay. All right. What kind of dinks don't accept credit cards, Jay asks? Dude, the custom knife makers, man, they do not accept credit cards by and large. Again, do not assume that anyone's going to accept credit cards or PayPal at the show. You will have a rough weekend if you do. So, yeah. I can't make Blade. What do you think the West Coast Blade shows be worth going to? Honestly, Green Man, I hope the West Coast Blade show is good, but I mean, the hottest knife makers are already tapped with the current shows. So, I don't know what to tell you, man. Dave said at JC, the entire custom knife market is one big tax evasion scheme. No comment. No comment. All right. I think I've covered everything. Have you tried the new Booze Blade Smoke? I have not shotgun bowing, unfortunately not. But perhaps I will at some point. Again, it's a good design. So, oof. Okay. You guys want to see this one again, don't you? Oh. If I had all the money in the world, this would be mine. I would throw just stupid money at my friend. Just stupid money. If I could afford to do it, I would just suitcases of money for this particular knife. So there is one fatal flaw, and that is the gap in the pocket clip. But it's like a super hot crazy chick. This is the crazy. I'll take the super hot with the rest. So crazy hot matrix. Anyone? This is probably a dude. Okay. Oh, look at that. I mean, look at that inlay. Are you kidding me? The pivot? Are you kidding me? Like, oof. I need to do a video on these. I just, it's been busy. I mean, even the action, the flipper tab is gorgeous. Look at the mill lines, right? Who does this? Who does this? Oh, look at the mill work. Even the flipper tab. It's got some little love, little TLC. I mean, there is no basic element of this knife. Oh, that was me. That was not the knife. That was me. So, watch. Oof. Oof. So, again, if you guys don't know who this is Derek Monroe, and this is a custom sigil. This is the best one I've ever seen. Hands down, the best custom sigil I have ever seen. Some of his earlier ones don't have the stainless steel lock insert, and to me, that's part of the perfection equation. So this one's got the stainless steel lock insert, it's got the milling, it's got the Damasteel. I mean, this is freaking perfection. And then my buddy took this one down at a show on a silent bid. I know the price, it is monstrous, and it's matchy. It's so matchy. Look, It is matchy-matchy. Oh, pearl pivot. Oh, my goodness, guys. I mean, this thing is glorious. Pocket clip is better on this one, but I love the Sigil MK4 more. So, I mean, look at that. Who does that? This is a custom knife. Back spacer kind of has the pearl-esque look to it. There's pearl inlaid on this side, right? Oh, so good. So good. All right. Yeah. Torrance asked best sharpener system. Wrong guy to ask, man. There are people who are just far more experienced than I. So, okay. Okay. How much are these? They're not even for sale. It would take stupid money to get these out of CJ's hand, like stupid money. So if any of you guys watching recently won the lottery, you offed your great aunt and she left you millions of dollars, maybe reach out to him. Otherwise, don't bother. It would take stupid money. So, yeah. Design outshines the clip, yep. Arian, I agree with you 100%. They did not do they did not, the production version of this did not do this knife justice, unfortunately. I really wish that it did, and I would have probably 3. So I would not be adverse if they went back and fixed the production version of this knife, the Microtech Sigil, because it is one of the best designs ever. This is the knife that I would like ZT to do. I mean, I would love ZT to do this knife and to have them do it correctly. I mean, if we want to talk about wet dreams, here's my wet dream. ZT, do this knife. But obviously that's not possible anymore because they've already given the design to another manufacturer, and those two manufacturers are obviously at odds with one another. I would love, Reate, I would love Reate to do this knife. Derek, make it so. Make it so. Okay. All right. What comments do we have? Derek Monroe is the one. He is the source code of the Matrix. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Looking at what Tashi made. Oh, okay. Wait on the mass drop. Greenthorn makes a mean sigil. Have your wee glimpse handy. Just won in a raffle coming tomorrow. Tim, it's over in my knife case. It's a little bit out of reach. You'll be happy. Dude, how do you keep winning so many damn raffles, Tim? Like, you are ridiculous. We need to have a breakdown of raffles entered versus raffles won. I need to know your return on investment for these raffles, because that's like number 5, okay? Number 5. Okay, say happy birthday to your wife. Thanks, Logan, Dad. I will. Yeah, Justin, do not break my heart. We can dream, Justin. We can dream that someday there will be a ZT Monroe or a Reate Monroe. I'll take either. I'm not picky. I'm just demanding. Okay, 25 or so, actually. Jesus, Tim. What the heck? All right. Any last minute questions from you peoples, you fine peoples? Let's have a little more knife deliciousness. I need to ship this one back now. Jason had to message me, be like, yo, what the hell, man? My bad. Yes. Look at that. It's a nice piece. Not inexpensive, but a very nice piece. So, whew. Look at that action. Dirty. Just dirty. Okay. Opinions on companies not doing reversal pot clips for lefties. Dude, advice for Pickler, you're not going to like my response, man. It is not financially feasible to make left-handed versions of knives that are specifically left-handed versions. Sal Glesser Spyderco has talked about this on the Spyderco forum before, where he said, you know, it seemed like there was a huge outcry for left-handed version knives. We made them, and they did not sell. So it's been done, it's been tried by numerous companies, and financially the numbers just aren't there, and then they have to stop doing it. So, you know, I can't disagree with Sal Glesser on that, to be honest with you. So, oh, Tim, I'm liking this one. I'm actually liking this one a lot. It's a small knife, but it fits in my hand fairly well. It's got some nice machining, obviously some nice anodizing, so it's a really cool little piece. Not inexpensive. This thing is $375, so I think it's $375. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but stainless steel lock insert, bearings, nice action, cool design, so I like it, but my wife loves it. She has claimed this one as her own, or asked me for, like, she'll come up, she'll be like, oh, I really like this one, can I have it? I'm like, sure, as long as you carry it. And then she never carries them, so there's about 2 or 3 knives that she's claimed and she never carries. I got her little pink Swiss Army knife that's on her keys, and that's the only thing that she has with her because it's on her keys, so I have no problem with her picking a knife if she carries it. If she doesn't carry it, it goes back in the box, so, or it just stays in the box. Ooh, Dave, Balzano faking a stroke? Must be all the money for the Mars knives that he already spent and can no longer afford to produce. That's probably stroke-inducing if I had to guess. So, oh, it's a conspiracy theory? All right, everyone just let's omit that. What's the best sounding action? Ooh. Ooh. Damn, I knew the answer to that a couple days ago. I'm gonna have to look through my box and find some of the ones that I have kind of do this double clank sound. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. And I've reserved the right to change my mind, but this is Sam Johnston Navaja. This is one that he built for me based on my choice of materials. In fact, I even shipped him this blade steel that I traded a Spyderco Mantra for. Traded a Spyderco Mantra for an unfinished piece of blade steel that got shipped directly to Sam. But I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. We'll try. So it's kind of got this double clank sound to it, and that is a freaking gorgeous knife, let me tell you. So this is a very special piece. I had to wait a long time for this build. I had a number of his models in between, but you know, this is the one. So gorgeous piece, gorgeous piece. Sam is an incredible knife maker, so yeah. All right. Has there been a knife design that has been traced more than the sigil? Highly doubtful. I know Justin Laffer is a big Monroe fan too because he has excellent taste. Should I pick up a 620 from Blade HQ? Yes, definitely from Blade HQ. Okay. Oh, yep. Happy for the advanced notice on the Bob on the live stream, Bob. Bacon. Ooh, yeah, R.J. Martin. Justin's right. R.J. Martin knives have a very particular sound when they open. I do not have a custom R.J. Martin because I don't. Yes. Maybe I'll rectify that someday, but his table prices are fairly high, and I have a personal limit on certain knives to where I won't carry him anymore, and so he might be over that limit. We'll see. All right, bacon, bacon, bacon. I like your meaty Johnston. Oh, man. Green Man, Perpetua versus Griptilian. I don't know, man. Griptilians are available now, highly customizable, lots of steel options. I don't think you can go wrong. Perpetua is a great design. I like the manufacturers. I have a personal bias towards millet knives, so yeah, I don't know. All right, so we'll leave it there, guys. We're going on an hour and 30 minutes, and you know, people got places to be, stuff and things to do. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, again, a lot of you guys each and every week, so I really appreciate it. The knife that was on loan from Blade HQ was this Boker. Damn it. I'm so well versed in Bokers. Boker Keon. There's the model number, and this is a Burnley collaboration. So not a bad little knife. Nothing wrong with it from a fit and finish standpoint. At 140, you know, it's definitely your decision if you like this or some of the other, you know, Chinese-made titanium frame lock flipper options out there. So, yep. So anyways, if you guys are not familiar, this video will upload to YouTube and go live in a number of hours if you missed the first part or you want to watch it or stuff and things and stuff. So, yes. All right. We'll do this again in 2 weeks. And until then, have a great night and see ya.